Hi, and welcome to the SaVeg Podcast.
I'm Rose, also known as Cheap Lazy Vegan on YouTube.
And I'm Daniel, one of your favorite guest stars on Cheap Lazy Vegan's YouTube channel.
We're two friends who love to talk about the latest trending topics.
So get comfortable and join us while we give our savage take on just about everything.
You are currently listening to the previous episode of this podcast, but if you would like to listen to this week's episode and get some exclusive content, go over to patreon.com/the SaVeg Podcast.
So hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of the SaVeg Podcast. SaVeg Podcast.
SaVeg Podcast.
Yeah, we're broadcasting live in Paris.
Speaking of Paris, did they do the Olympics? I saw some people swimming in there.
I know some people were swimming in the.
No, I don't think they actually did the Olympics yet, but I did see people swimming in there.
Yeah, somebody actually commented on one of the videos.
How do you say it?
It's like Seine.
Oh, Le Seine. I should know. God
It's
damn.
just like no
3 years of French immersion down the drain.
Mm-hmm. Rose, what would be wrong with your French? Why are
God,
you not fluent?
Je ne peux pas parler français.
Ah oui?
Ah oui, ah oui. Je ne peux pas. C'est difficile.
Oui.
I would like to brush up on my French. Speaking of French.
Yes.
I don't know if I mentioned this on the podcast, but I did go to south of France. I think I did mention. Did I not mention?
I can't remember.
So I went to south of France for like a week. It was like a friend's wedding. Yeah. And I realized, okay, so I have complained many times about the French, but I realized I was complaining about Parisians because every time I've been to Paris, and I went to French immersion in junior high, and French immersion is basically like schools that we have in Canada, because Canada is a bilingual country, technically.
Yep. Technically, we should all be bilingual.
Technically, but we ain't, okay?
We isn't.
So we're technically a bilingual country. So in order to like promote bilingualism, there are schools with like across Canada that are like within English-speaking regions, which is like most of Canada.
Yeah.
That basically teach you French, and like French is like the first language within the school. So like in my junior high, I did 3 years, grade 7 to 9, and it was like basically every class is taught in French. And so I did learn French during that time, and then so I really should, so I have a little bit of French.
Yeah.
But so every time I went to France, like I remember like when I was in Paris, every time I went to Paris, I should say, I like tried to speak a little bit of French. Obviously when I'm like on the street, I try to speak French, but then they would always respond in English. Like I'm clearly speaking French to you. Yes, it's not perfect, but like I'm speaking French to you. I know my French isn't that bad. Okay. Yeah. But they'll be like, oh, I speak English. Like they just ain't got time.
No.
And that really annoyed me. And it kind of discourages you, right? Because you're like I get it. It's not their job to like, teach me French. But at the same time, it's like in every other country, I mean, not every other country, but like most other countries, like Italy, for example, they will literally just speak to you in fucking Italian.
It was like, this is one thing I loved about being in Spain. And
exactly.
And in Latin and Central America in general. Sorry, guys.
But some of them actually don't speak English at all.
This is true. This is very true. But even in Spain, like there would be like so I lived in Spain for like 8 months. It was roughly or so. And even
some water, Daniel.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with my throat here, guys.
You'd be pulling a me.
Too much extracurricular activities on the weekend,
Yeah, what be going on with your throat? What you be doing with your throat, Daniel?
Just kidding, guys. This is a PG podcast. None of that business on the weekend, I went camping. I was innocent, sweet and innocent. But that's one thing I loved about like Central America and living in Spain. Even when like in Spain, there was a few more people that spoke English. Central America, like barely
nobody
anyone spoke
speaks English.
Yeah. So it's kind of like necessity. But in Spain, like there's quite a few people that do speak English. And the city that I was living in, I went on like some dates and stuff. And some of the dates they could speak English, but my Spanish was like better than their English, or not even better. They were just like more comfortable speaking in Spanish, obviously.
Sure.
So
you're in Spain.
Exactly. So I would like be struggling with my Spanish. And then the one guy I like went on a date with, and it was so cute. We were just like speaking in Spanish, and I was like, do you speak English? Like I asked him at some point. He's like, yeah, I speak English. I'm like, should we just... I said this all in Spanish. So I was like, should we just speak in English?
Yeah.
And he's like, no. I was like, okay, I'll just struggle. But I would prefer that because then it forces me to learn the language. And never once did anyone say like, even if they spoke English, like really good English, I would speak Spanish to them. And they never once were like, oh, I just speak English. Like, don't worry about it.
So basically people like French are like known for this, okay? Because like I've seen, and I was like, oh my God, am I the only one? Because I would complain about this. I'm like, oh my God, every time I'm like in France, like people just like don't want to speak to you. And like what bothers me is like they want you to speak French, but if you don't speak perfect French, it's like they don't have time for you. So it's like, how are you supposed to learn the language? And I've seen skits about this online. It's like there's a whole discourse about this. So I'm not the only one that's had this experience.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh my God, so like, I don't even want to learn French. Like, I don't want to continue to learn French because it's like, it's so discouraging. I realized though, when I was in south of France, that is actually like, in south of France, they actually speak to you in French.
Right.
Even when they do speak English. So I was like, oh my God. So I was actually like, after a few days, I was like, oh my God, I'm like trying to, speak some French. And so it's actually a Paris stereotype.
Right. Okay.
Not necessarily the rest of France.
That's interesting.
And people are just like a little bit nicer.
But I think this is like big city vibes. I think
it is big city vibes, but the language issue is definitely like a Parisian thing.
But what I mean is like in Paris, it's such a big city that they're probably just like, they just don't have the time. They don't want to worry about it. There's like, fuck it. I speak English. That's easier. But
like, no, I don't think so. Because First of all, Paris, you're not that. It's definitely a French thing because they're more proud of their language, which is just fair. You know what? You should be proud of your language. But it is a very specifically French, like Paris/French issue. Yeah. Because I've never seen anyone complain, because there's big cities everywhere, Daniel. Yeah. There's big cities in Italy. Yeah. But they will speak to me if I go into a cafe in Rome, which is a big city. True. They will speak to me in Italian. True. And like, they're not all running around fucking, like, oh my God. They just don't want to speak to you in French because they think your French isn't good enough. Not everybody. Okay, I would like to say.
I'm painting a broad brush here for the Parisians.
It's a stereotype for a reason. Okay? I'm just saying, guys, if people are trying to speak your language, try to,
try to understand.
Try to be like, okay, just say, you don't have to even like have a conversation. Just respond in fucking French. That's all you gotta fucking do. That's your first language. You can fucking speak in French. I'm like, ooh, is like, where is? Ooh, this. Just say like, la gauche. Okay, like just fucking respond in fucking French. Let me learn the goddamn language.
Damn right. I think you need to take a sabbatical.
Daniel,
6 months to a year. Go live in the south of France.
Oh, should I?
And just practice your French.
It'd be expensive, Daniels.
It is, but you could still do your channel.
Oh goddamn! Should I? Oh God, but like.
And you could do French recipes.
Oh God, yeah. They need some. They need some help in that department.
They need some education.
Actually, some of the bigger cities. I went to Aix-en-Provence. I went to what was the other ones?
Nice.
Not Nice. I haven't been to, like, so I didn't go to the super bougie places. I feel like Nice and like, what's the other? Cannes are like really bougie.
Oh, they're so nice though.
Goddamn, you went there.
I've been there.
Yeah, you did. I've never been there. I ain't that bougie.
I went to a music festival in Cannes.
Oh, goddamn, that'd be fun as hell.
Yeah, I can't remember what it's called, but
but I was in like Aix-en-Provence and then I can't remember the other one. Anyways, but the bigger cities had like some like good, like decent vegan options and some vegan restaurants. So I was actually pleasantly surprised. But when I was in like the more rural areas, it was like fries and salad. Yeah. to be fair, in Spain was like that too. Like I lived in a small city. So painful.
And I was shocked. Like even the small city, there was like a couple vegan restaurants. Like So
yeah.
that was really cool. And Madrid and Barcelona, it's like no problem. So it's kind of nice, but like definitely you go to like very rural small places. Like I went to a few really small towns. They just give you
jamon.
Yeah, they were just like I remember there was like a veggie sandwich. Sure. And it was supposed to have like eggs in it. So I was like, can I just get the veggie sandwich without eggs? Yeah. And then they gave it to me and I like looked at it and I took a bite and I was like, what the fuck? There's tuna in here. Like, why is there tuna in a veggie sandwich?
Because fish is a plant.
I know. And it wasn't listed in the ingredients either because I know what tuna is in Spanish.
Annoying. Yeah.
So I'm just like, what the fuck? So I asked them, I was like, can I have this with like no tuna? They're they're looking at me like I'm fucking crazy. Oh, God. No tuna? What?
Yeah.
Why? God damn, you crazy white people.
Oh, God damn, you crazy white people indeed.
Like, you just want lettuce in a bun? Okay.
Anyways, shall we jump into the stories?
We shall, but before we do, guys.
Join our Patreon.
Patreon.com/the SaVeg Podcast. You get every single episode a week before everyone else. All the content on there is ad free. And of course, guys, you get some exclusive episode every single month.
We gonna record one after this.
Yeah, we're gonna do some recordation.
It's gonna be funny. It's gonna be good.
Is it gonna be funny, Rose?
It's gonna be funny. It's gonna be good.
Oh my God.
I be in a mood. I be in a crazy mood.
What you be drinking, Rose? You be crazy as hell.
I be drinking H2O.
Mm-hmm. And guys,
with some vodka.
Apparently. Also, guys, I'm really excited. Rose actually had a fantastic idea for this week, which is it's really hot in our city.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and Rose texted me today, or was it yesterday, a little bit sporadically, frantically, like she does in the mornings. You know, I won't hear from her for 5 days, and then all of a sudden it's like...
That's so not true. Yes,
Yeah.
I get crazy bursts of like energy or like inspiration.
Yeah, and my favorite is like, I won't hear from Rose for like 5 days, and then I don't respond to one of her like things in a series of like 20 text messages, and she will copy it and be like, please answer.
First of all, you're notorious for doing this. So let's just put that out there. I'll ask 2 questions and Daniel will always answer just one of them. Okay. This has been happening for years. I don't know why it hasn't been fixed yet.
And you love it.
God damn, Daniel's.
Well, I got to get you back for not responding to me, Rose. Keep you on your toes. But Rose's fantastic idea, and it was a good one, so I'll give her credit for that. She's like, Daniel, we should go rafting. And so tomorrow, guys, when it's like 34 degrees, or for our American friends, what's that in Fahrenheit? Like 110?
I have no idea. No, 110 I think is, hold on, 34 degrees?
You're right, 110 is too hot. You can actually change your, go to your...
Oh, right.
Go to your...
go to the weather app. Let's say and here.
Push the little top button. Oh, no, where would it be?
How I change it?
You go like this.
Fahrenheit?
Oops.
God damn, what you do? Oh, Lord Jesus. Okay, let's say here.
So it will be like 92 degrees Fahrenheit, guys.
92 degrees.
Nice and sunny.
There'd be a heat warning. So in our city, we're not by like a ocean or anything, but we do have the Bow River, which runs within the city. And in the summertime, you can like rent like a raft.
Yeah.
Is it called a raft?
Yeah, it's like a raft.
Like a raft,
like
a
an
boat,
inflatable
like
dinghy.
an inflatable device.
Yeah, inflatable device.
And then you can just like float down, and it's just like you just kind of chill.
Yeah.
Okay. So that is the activity that we're gonna do.
I'd be excited.
We'd
be out in the sun. We got to load up on some sunscreen.
Yeah, it'd be fun as hell.
Yeah. Anyway, so now that that's out off my chest,
now we can talk about the stories.
Oh, God.
The biggest story of the week.
Yes.
Joe Biden actually drops out.
Do you think? Okay, so this was shocking, guys. I was shocked. I was like, well, I wasn't so shocked, but I was also like, oh my God. Do you think it's a result of all this backlash? Like, do you think that's why? Or do you think also part of it is like maybe he has been seeking medical advice and they're just like,
I think it's both.
Yeah.
It's probably both. There's been so much. There's a lot of pressure because everyone has been talking about it. Even people that have been supporting him. Yeah. After the debate and stuff, they're like, oh, this is not good.
They're like, he's too old.
And he's just not there. Like, he just can't.
Yeah.
And then also, like, the polls and stuff have been showing that he's just not going to win. You know what I mean? So I think there's probably like pressure from everybody that he should just drop out because it's like, obviously you don't want to go into a race that you just know you're probably going to lose.
But do you think that this is going to be detrimental for the Democrats?
Well, I think he should have never ran in the first place.
Yeah.
That would have been the smart idea. But I think it's more helpful that he's dropping out rather than running. Because if he ran, that would have been like...
Yeah. Because a lot of people are saying like the speculation is just like it's so late for a new candidate to come forward.
Oh, for
now.
Sure.
And now it's like because the election's like in October, I think October.
God,
November.
yeah, because like I think they're supposed to like I think it's in November.
Yeah.
Which is like coming up very soon.
Well, it's like what, August, September, October.
Yeah.
Like 4 months away.
It's definitely too late, but also I think it's definitely late, but I think better late than never kind of situation.
Right. Okay.
So he endorsed Kamala Harris, who's like the VP, who people are saying is like whatever, but probably the most seamless transition because she's already the VP. So she's already kind of like on the team.
Yeah. Like, how does it work though for the presidential?
I don't know how the fuck it works.
Like, don't they have to be like elected within the Democrat Party to be like the representative?
Think so. I don't exactly know how it works. It's a bit different than the Canadian system. Yeah, I think they do have to be like chosen. So I think, usually I think the president is chosen or the person running for president is chosen based on like whoever is running. And then the president I think chooses the vice president. So I don't know how it works when somebody like steps down.
Well, listen to this. So it says here, with President Joe Biden ending his re-election bid and endorsing Vice President Kamala Harris, Democrats must now navigate this shift that is unprecedented this late in the election year. I wonder if this ever happened before, where it's like
I don't think
so close to like the actual election. So the Democrats are set to hold their convention in Chicago on August 19th to 22nd.
Oh shit, that's in like
which
a
is
month.
another month away. What was supposed to be a coronation for Biden now becomes an open contest in which nearly 4,700 delegates will be responsible for picking a new standard bearer to challenge Republican Donald Trump in the fall. So it's like he's endorsed Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
However, at this convention that they're having, and I'm like, honestly, if I was the Democrat Party, I'd be like, guys, we need to have this convention this weekend.
Tomorrow. Yeah,
exactly. Not like, oh, we'll have it in a month. Like literally, if they have it August 19th to 22nd, the election is, can we like Google when the election is? Because like it's literally coming up. I swear
it's like November.
Like November 4th or something. Like seriously, like you are having a meeting literally when it be?
It be, hold on one second. Date. November 5th.
I was close, guys.
November 5th.
I said November 4th.
God damn it.
I should win a prize. But yeah, it's like literally coming up. Okay, so if they do this in August, figure it out August 22nd. Okay, you have like end of August you're already at. September and October. You got 2 months to run.
For the president of the United States.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
What is going on, guys? Yeah. I know we always ask this question, but what the hell's going on over there?
I don't even know.
So I guess like, yeah, I actually didn't know. I thought if he like endorsed Kamala Harris, like that would be like the nominee.
So listen to this. So I guess there's 4,700 delegates that are going to go to this convention, right? Now, so the path ahead is neither easy nor obvious, obviously. So can Biden redirect his delegates? So because I guess when they elected who would be the Democrat representative, he won the primary, and he had like 3,896 delegates had been pledged to support him of the Democrat Party.
Right.
So they were like, yep, we want you to be the representative. Current party rules do not permit Biden to pass them on to another candidate. So I can't say, oh, these people wanted me to represent the Democrats, so now that passes on to you because I've endorsed you. However, they say his endorsement will likely be influential in influencing the decision of the Democrats.
Because technically it's still like a democracy. So I guess they do have to technically choose someone.
Yeah.
So
what's going to happen at the convention, Rose? It says,
I have no idea.
Biden stepping aside, Democrats technically start with an open convention, but realistically, his endorsement pushes Democrats into a murky
territory.
Thank you, territory. The immediate burden is on Harris to solidify support across almost 4,000 delegates from the states, territories, and the District of Columbia, plus more than 700 so-called superdelegates that include party leaders, certain elected officials, and former presidents and vice presidents.
God damn. So there's a few people that are potential contenders to challenge Harris. And so I think, yet some Democrats argue publicly and many privately that it would be a no-brainer to elevate the first woman, first black woman, and first person of South Asian descent to hold national office. Also, right, they've never had a woman president yet.
So she could be this could be... if she gets elected.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
She could be the first
black woman president ever.
God, too bad she's just not that like...
You don't like her?
I don't know. Like, I've just heard that she's just kind of meh. You know? Like, she ain't no Michelle Obama. You know what's funny? Because like Michelle Obama like never intended or never said she was going to run for president.
Yeah.
But I think they did like some polls where they were like, if she ran for president, she would have like beat Trump in like every way. Yeah.
Yeah.
So everyone's like, oh my God, Michelle Obama. Like Michelle Obama has some like, you know,
gravitas.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
The Obamas, you know, say what you want, but they got some charisma.
They got
the riz.
They got that charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent. You know,
they
as
do.
RuPaul would say. It's funny how some people just have it. You know what I mean? Like they get up on stage, they own that stage, you know, and they just have that something about them that gets people talking, that gets people engaged. And you're right. Like I mean, I haven't seen too many of like.
And she's just like not that like popular. I feel like. Harris has not been viewed as an especially beloved or empowered vice president. Like she's just kind of like, I don't know. Maybe I don't know much, so maybe I'm just being unfair.
But this is like a lot of people are saying like this is literally not detrimental, but because it's so late in the game, there's fear that Trump could realistically win.
Well, I mean, honestly, I think that would have happened even if Biden ran. So it was Biden. He shouldn't have ran in the first fucking place. But you know what? We're here now, so what the fuck are we gonna do?
But also, I just don't understand how a convicted criminal,
oh god,
or not convicted, I
guess
he convicted? Maybe he is convicted, or he has criminal charges that he's facing. All this shit. How can he even run? I don't understand.
I know, it's so fucking insane.
Like, I'm sorry. Like, half the time, some countries are crazy. Like, you can't even get in with a DUI.
I know.
So, like, let alone run for fucking presidency. Not saying he has a DUI, but like,
yeah.
Still.
Yeah. Like, if you have a DUI, you can't do a lot of things. But apparently, if you have all of these, because he's been charged with so many different things, and he has been convicted.
I know. And the funny thing is, the ironic thing is about all of this, the charges and everything the accusations that he faced all had to do with like stuff around the presidency.
I know.
It
wasn't even just like unrelated.
Exactly. It was like, okay, maybe if it was unrelated shit, then maybe he was like doing some tax evasion with his business.
Then,
all this shit,
that's
right?
Fucking shit.
It is shit. But then you see this, and he was like, literally, he's been charged for like voter fraud and like, all the, I don't know if the exact allegations, but I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? He's literally been charged with shit.
It's not a democracy. That's just a lie.
It's crazy.
Yeah. What the fuck are you talking about? Democracy. So. And and then we also don't even know who's going to be vice president. So who the fuck knows? But yeah, I mean, I do think it is detrimental that he is like that this is happening, but I think it would have been more detrimental if he kept running. Yeah. Because based on just based on like poll numbers, I don't know how accurate they are, but basically like anyone would have been better than Biden. Yeah. Kind of that's the kind of situation that the Democrats have put themselves in. Yeah. Instead of putting someone that was like likely to win in the first place, they put an 80. How old is he? 81. They put an 81-year-old man, out there to be humiliated. It's just so fucking.
I really feel like, I mean, part of this was the pressure, obviously externally, but I really feel that he's probably had advice from a doctor as well. Like probably because I feel
he
like
was not okay.
No, but he also was. It didn't seem like it had any intention of stepping down, even with the backlash. He was like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna keep going." So I almost I feel like, guys, and this is like obviously hearsay. We don't know what happened.
Yeah,
but
so
I
you
feel
think the health issue's gotten worse?
And I feel like he's had a recommendation from the doctor to say, actually, you're not fit for this. You should step down.
I think so. I think it's like a mixture. Yeah, for sure. Because it's like. Even all the interviews that he was doing after the debate, it was so clear that he was just unable to formulate a thought, let alone a sentence. And there were times when he was like literally reading off a teleprompter, and still messing it up. So it's like I actually feel very bad for him because I was like, God, like, are you okay?
Are you okay? Is everything okay?
Are you okay? Like, you got to be in bed. Mm-hmm. Okay, you got to be sleeping early. You got to be just taking your meds.
Damn,
gotta be chilling.
God damn.
Why you be running for president? Like, what are you doing?
I know. Also, again, guys, I know I said this again. I'm gonna say
this every episode.
Every episode, I'm like, dude, like, enjoy your 80s, enjoy your 70s, even fucking retire.
I know.
Well, what are these people doing?
He's retiring, I guess.
I know, forced retirement. Well, we don't know exactly.
Apparently, the thing is, he says he's gonna do the rest of the term.
Yeah. Well,
we'll see. It's ending probably. Like at least another half year if elections are in November, right?
Damn, Rose. It's crazy as hell. Yeah, because then they have the inauguration and there's I seem to remember it was in January.
Beginning of the year, I think. Yeah.
Because that's when that whole Trump thing
kicked
off.
Yeah.
When he got a bunch of
January
his followers.
6th, yeah.
Had all his followers storm the White House.
You know what? If it wasn't people actually running this planet, it'd be like the most entertaining show ever.
I know.
You know what I mean?
It's actually it's almost like it's like a movie. It's like we're watching a fucking movie.
Trump gets an assassination attempt like last week, and then Biden steps down.
Yeah.
Like, this is like a lot of shit is happening.
I know. And just that, like,
say what you want about the United States. You guys be entertaining as hell.
You guys keep it interesting down there. You guys are our favorite.
Canadians are boring as hell.
You guys are our favorite sitcom to watch right now. Like, literally, who knows what's going to happen next? I'm like on the edge of my seat.
Who knows?
I'm ready for the next episode.
Oh, God.
Damn, what's going to happen now?
Any predictions?
No.
Here's my prediction.
What's your prediction?
Biden dies.
God damn, that'd be dark as hell.
I don't know. He'd be old and he'd be having issues.
God damn, my
prediction. He doesn't finish the term.
Bum bum bum. And my prediction is, unfortunately, I think Trump might get elected.
Daniels.
I know as much as I'm not a Trumper. I don't think we need to make America great again.
He is also so deluded. It has to be easy to beat him. That's why it's so sad. That's why people are so like,
everyone's like,
can't be hard. He's a convicted criminal who is also old as fuck, by the way, and who tried to overthrow the election.
I know.
Like, he has to be easy to beat.
I know. He tried to overthrow the election. He claimed like voting fraud.
I feel like anyone that has like a coherent thought could beat him.
I know.
Like, we could run for president and probably beat him.
Well, we wouldn't because we're Canadians, though.
I mean, if we were this, it obviously did.
I know. No, but I feel like being Canadian, even if we immigrate to the United States of America, because they look up your history and they're like, you're not a true American.
I'm just saying. If we were American and if we ran for president.
There's a lot of what ifs there, Roses. I'm loving the example, though.
Yeah.
Should we run?
Well, clearly, the example is just you're taking it very, very literally,
too literal.
Daniel.
I'm very literal today, I guess.
Anyway, so
God
that's happening. Biden stepped down.
So
now,
guys, it's gonna be an interesting year.
Who knows what's gonna happen, guys? What do you guys think is gonna happen? My friends in the United States, our friends in the United States, let me know.
Our friends down south, tell us what's going on down there.
What is going on down there? It is a weird, weird time.
Weird and whimsical time down there. Goddamn.
Oh, goddamn. Okay, next story. So I saw this on TikTok, and I feel like no one is talking about it because I don't know what the fuck is happening. Okay, everyone be talking about the election, but apparently there's some shit happening in Bangladesh.
Oh, goddamn.
Okay.
What be happening?
So, nationwide curfew in Bangladesh as deadly protests over government jobs escalate. So I saw like this footage of like a bunch of people running, and there's clearly some kind of fucking protest happening.
Yeah.
And then apparently like there's like police and paramilitary forces deployed across the capital to lock down campuses. So they've been locking down campuses, breaking up demonstrations, all kinds of crazy shit's happening.
God damn.
So the Prime Minister of Bangladesh announced a nationwide curfew across the country late Friday and ordered the deployment of military forces to maintain order following days of deadly clashes over the allocation of government jobs.
Oh, so I'm guessing this has to do with like whoever was chosen or hired for these government jobs or allocated, they were not happy with. Because you know how like a lot of, and I feel like this is a lot of countries, I don't know how they do it in Bangladesh, but
like it's bribery and stuff.
It's kind of like, oh, you're my friend, I'm going to get you in, you're going to be my treasurer. This other person, my other buddy's going to be this person.
So you want to read Daniel?
The announcement was made by the General Secretary of the ruling Awami League Party and came after police and security officials fired on protesters early Friday and banned all gatherings in the capital.
All gatherings.
This is crazy.
Several people were killed. Okay? We're talking like from basically police. Yeah. Okay?
The General Secretary said the military was deployed to keep civilian administration keep order.
Oh, God.
To help the civilian administration keep order. The protest, which began weeks ago, escalated sharply on Monday, represent the biggest challenge to, I'm not going to pronounce this wrong, Hasina, since she won the fourth consecutive term in January election that was boycotted by the main opposition parties. How many people died? So there are varying reports on the number of people killed Friday. The Independent Television reporting 17 dead and some other TV reporting 30.
Oh, and I also saw on TikTok that apparently they shut off the internet. They shut off the internet. So like basically they're trying to like not make this go, viral. They shut off the internet. This is what I heard. And so like, and they shut down it says complete shutdown of the country. They shut down like the university campuses because that's where a lot of protests usually like happen.
Yeah.
And they shut down the internet. Like, can you imagine like fucking shutting down the internet? The chaos has highlighted cracks in Bangladesh's governance and economy, as well as the frustration of young graduates who face a lack of good jobs. So I'm sure they're protesting over like a lot of different things.
Yeah.
But essentially they're just like, the government is like not allowing them to protest.
Yeah.
Basically, they're locking down campuses, breaking up protests, and on Wednesday, universities, including the country's largest, suspended classes and closed dormitories. It's crazy.
That's a lot. Like, I mean, imagine that happening anywhere. It's like a lot.
I know.
A lot to happen. But like this frustration especially around, and I think it got it probably exacerbated because it's like young people are like, oh, there's not enough jobs and we're freaking out and like, you know, blah, blah, blah. And then they see some like government jobs going to certain people, this kind of stuff. And you know what, honestly, I think that this is not just, obviously Bangladesh is facing certain issues, but as we see more like in the Western, like in Canada, US, AI really becoming prominent and replacing a lot of jobs, we're seeing like a lot of like mass layoffs in our countries and not enough job creation. So I could see more and more stuff like this happening. But anyway. Yeah.
And it says but the problem is though, you should be able to protest. And obviously in this, the government is like not allowing them to protest. Yeah. It says internet services and mobile data were widely disrupted on Thursday night and remained down on Friday in the capital. Social media platforms like Facebook and WhatsApp were also not loading. It coincided with a widespread internet outage on Friday that disrupted flights, banks, media outlets, and companies across the world. But the disruption in Bangladesh were substantially greater than those seen elsewhere. So, there was like that internet outage or something that happened that like disrupted flights. Did you hear about that too? God damn, some crazy shit is happening, guys.
What are we in, Y2K?
I think we might be.
You know, do you guys remember Y2K?
Yeah, I mean, we're old, so we remember Y2K.
Oh yeah. Some people listening to this podcast might not know what Y2K was.
That's true. You want to explain, Daniel?
So guys,
I don't even know how to explain it, to be honest.
The reason I thought of this, I kind of do.
Okay.
So basically,
it was 2000, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rewind 25 years ago.
Oh, God damn, Daniel,
to 1999.
God damn.
Young year of 1999.
How old we be?
Little Daniel was
11. We be 11.
11 years young. Anyway, so 1999 comes up. Now, Y2K is going into the year 2000. Now, the reason why there was like this widespread panic, it was kind of like lame, but I remember it had to do with like partially the computers and the way the computers like calculated the date or something, because it was like 99 and now it was going to be 00, and they were like, the computers are going to malfunction, everything's going to explode, we haven't prepared for this, blah 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 blah, everything's going to like fucking, you know, we're going to have
a huge panic. I remember.
And they're like, all the internet's going to shut down, everything's going to fucking explode,
crash.
And it was like, and then 2000 happened and literally nothing happened.
Yeah.
So it was like all of that hype and everything just for that. But it sounds like this is actually disruptive.
Yeah. So I don't actually know what happened, but I remember there was some kind of issue with the internet, which actually, like, you know what? Let's look this up. So a major internet outage affecting Microsoft is disrupting flights, banks, media outlets, and companies across the world, with problems continuing hours after the technology company said it was gradually fixing an issue affecting access to Microsoft 365 apps and services.
This is
my fear.
This is an issue, though. When you have these massive corporations, such as a Microsoft, such as any Google or all this, and you have so many companies depending on these services, these IT, these tech services.
Daniel, flights, banks, media, everything that like runs the world.
Yep.
Because like this freaks me out because it's like everyone has money in the bank.
Yeah.
Which is all kind of digital.
Yeah.
It's like weird. We're just like fucking everything's done digitally now. Let me just e-transfer you. We don't even see cash anymore.
No. But this is why, Rose, and we talked about this before on this podcast, I was saying how fucked up it would be like if somebody hacked all of the bank systems and just wiped everyone's balance.
Exactly, because then what's going to happen?
What do you do?
Oh, God, this would be freaky as hell.
It's scary as hell.
That's going to be a big Y2K situation.
God damn.
It'd be the real Y2K. Ugh. So basically, airlines and airports in the United States, Europe, Australia, India, basically fucking all over the goddamn world were reporting problems with some flights grounded. So because of the internet outage, flights cannot even fly. Yeah. Like, how does that even... I cannot compute.
Well, it's because they
need to like...
They have a lot
or
of
whatever, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's all tied together.
It's all tech. It's all tied together.
Retail outlets, banks, railway companies, and hospitals in several parts of the world were also affected in what appeared to be an unprecedented internet disruption. So this actually freaks me out. Daniel, what gonna happen?
I don't know, Rose.
Because if that can happen, it's like we don't know what can happen. Of
course. Our society as we know it could come crumbling down.
Because we're all relying on this digital thing. And like, yeah, it looks like Microsoft has a major kind of, they control a lot of it. Yeah. Right? So it's like,
it's kind of scary.
It's
and
actually
like,
scary.
It's like you said, we all have our money in banks. We all have our money. And like, if all of a sudden it was like, just got wiped out to zero, what would you do?
God damn, but this is why we got to live in the forest.
God damn, Rose.
This is where it's like certain jobs or certain skills that in society are not well compensated for would come in really handy. You know, like farming or or like fucking, like just, you know, like manual work that we don't know how to fucking do.
Like carpentry?
Like literally anything. Like, survivals, you know, like survival things.
Yeah.
We should watch those survival shows.
God damn, we should watch, what is it? Is it Bear Grylls or something like that?
I don't know.
It's like this man that goes out in the woods.
There's like that show. There's like a show where like they like drop someone off on like a fucking deserted area and then they have to like survive.
I heard about that. They drop like a bunch of people off all in different areas.
Yeah.
And then they
and then they compete for like who can stay the longest.
Yeah. And so basically you do whatever you can to stay the longest. And then as everyone drops out or people drop out, whoever stays the longest wins.
But you don't know how many people have dropped out.
Yes.
That's the fucked up part.
I know.
So it's like you could be staying there. Everyone could have dropped out day one and you could be staying there like 10 days being like, great.
I feel like they will eventually tell somebody though. If you were the last person.
Oh, I think, maybe if you're the last person, then they would tell you.
If you weren't the last person, let's say there was 2 people left and it was just you and 2 other people, everyone else dropped out, you wouldn't know.
You wouldn't know. Goddamn.
So you just be like, fuck, I got to keep going.
Goddamn. Anyways, so.
I would not last long on that show. Let me tell you.
Fuck.
I
think I'd last 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And then I'd freak out. I'd see a bug and be like, bah!
But this is the thing that scares me as well. Like, I talked about this before. You know, I watched a few seasons, a couple of the first couple of seasons of Walking Dead. And it was funny because, like, I'm not talking about the zombie piece of it, but it was quite interesting to see how fast society as a whole fucking crumbled. Because this guy got, like, shot or something, and then he went into the hospital, went into, like, a coma. Went into a coma and then like woke up out of this coma. So he wasn't in the coma. Maybe he was in the coma for like, I don't know, a couple of years. I can't remember the whole story, but he wakes up in the hospital and like society's crumbled. Like,
oh god damn.
And then the weird thing is actually in Walking Dead, if you watch the show, a lot of the danger that happened was actually from the other people. It wasn't even the zombie because there was like zombies running around.
Oh, because everyone's trying to survive.
And everyone would form these groups. They would like find like an abandoned, I don't know, hospital to live in, and there'd be like a community of people living in there,
right?
And like getting resources and shit. And then if anybody and nobody could know to trust each other,
right?
Because everyone's fighting for survival, right? So they're like, you can't just like walk in the street because people would like mug you or like fucking. You know, shoot you and kill you and like no questions asked. Like it was because there's no laws. It's like free for all.
Yeah. It's a fucking anarchy.
Oh my god, it was insane.
Oh,
but like
god.
That scares me is that our society is so like
fragile
and so interconnected into technology now that if there is big outages, it's like fucks up a ton of shit.
Yeah.
Just as we're seeing here.
God damn it, like honestly, this story freaks me out. Anyway, speaking of humanity and how we're fucked up.
God damn. Oh my god.
So,
speaking of
how horrible humans can be. I saw this video. It was actually very disturbing.
Did you actually watch the video?
I watched the video. There was like surveillance video. So this woman, like a few days ago, there was a woman that drowned in a pool. It was just like one of those, I don't know, like community pools at like a fitness center or something.
Yeah. Well, actually she died. It says here she died. So the story is today, but she died in February, it says.
Oh, it happened in February?
Yeah. Look, it says died on the morning of February.
But I think the footage has like
leaked.
been released recently. So I guess she died in February. And what happened was she drowned in a pool. Okay. So what is the reason why this became a big story is because she was like actively drowning. And she was like literally in this public pool with other people surrounding. And she's actively drowning and she's actively like, you know, like she looks like she's struggling. She's gripping onto the side of the pool. You know, like the handrails?
Yeah.
When you're like, you know, going up and down the stairs or whatever. She's gripping on to like one of the handrails. And like she's drowning. And people are literally, there was one guy that literally walked beside her, didn't notice. Like I'm assuming he didn't notice because like obviously if you notice, you know, I would assume he would have helped.
Yeah.
But I don't think he noticed that she was drowning.
What I don't get though, and guys, I'm
so sad.
It is really sad. If she's already grabbing onto those bars, why didn't she just like pull herself up on there?
I think like I don't know. Like basically, okay, the tragic episode unfolded after her name was Letitia Triplet. So Triplet struggled to swim for about 25 minutes. I'm sure something happened where like she couldn't pull herself up. Like I'm sure there was like a reason. It says after her head dipped underwater while she clung to the side wall, she pulled herself to the pool steps. So she did end up like she got to the pool steps,
right,
and where she fought to remain above water by holding onto the handrail. Several people are seen casually walking alongside her and walking to the pool where Triplet was fighting for her life and continued to do so after the 58-year-old drowned and laid lifeless in the pool. And then she laid lifeless. She was just like fucking laying there. And let's see. Like she was like this. I don't know exactly like how. God, it's so fucking sad. Like, I'm sure there's some kind of reason as to, like, what happened. Yeah. Maybe she had, like, a heart attack. Like, I don't know. Like, something happened, okay?
This is also... This adds to it. They told the gym... blah, 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 blah. She's an Air Force veteran and was seen walking with crutches before she entered the pool. So, probably, you know, her legs... Maybe she didn't have full, like, strength
control
in there.
over the legs.
Yeah.
So, there's definitely something happening. Yeah, definitely something to do with her legs. And...
Also, it says during her fatal struggle, because this was going to be my next question. Because I'm like, okay, you're struggling, you're drowning. Why are you not screaming for help?
But her head is underwater.
No, but I think there was parts. Like, if you look at the... Like, look at this.
Yeah, that is her.
Yeah, so I'm assuming she wasn't underwater the whole time. It says here, during her fatal struggle, it's unclear if she called for help or attention from the other swimmers who appeared to be clueless to her fighting to keep her head above the water.
But, you know, it's probably hard to, like, you know, I don't know if you've ever, like... drown like you know like it because you're trying to put your head up, right? And like you're basically barely clutching for breath, right? So it's probably not easy to be like help, you know what I'm saying? And I think her head was like kind of underwater.
Right. Okay,
anyway, we don't know. Okay, obviously she was struggling, and
probably the reason why she probably couldn't get up is because she was walking in with crutches. So like because she was at the stairs, right? You would think that she would be able to, but like also I don't understand either too, because if you're at the stairs, can you not sit on the stairs?
I don't know, Daniel. Let's not speculate as to why she didn't save herself.
This is true.
The point of the story is that people around her
didn't help her. That's very true. Okay. Yeah, no, that's a very good point. I have so many questions.
I know that you're like,
I'm not trying to victim blame, but
So I'm sure like she was trying. She was definitely trying, because I saw her like struggling.
Yeah.
She was kicking herself. Like away from the handrail, couldn't lift herself upright. There was something happening where she couldn't do it. Okay. And then she appeared motionless and face down in the pool for around 10 minutes, where several people appearing to look at her body, but no one stepping in to help her. She was only lifted from the pool around 20 minutes after she first got in, and the swimmer in an adjacent pool spotted her. So like the whole story is that she was like literally like, she was physically struggling. Like you could see, and someone was like walking by. Those people walking near her.
Why would no one stop?
People didn't notice. But
like you would notice.
How do
like,
you not notice?
If someone's scrambling, they're gonna be. Guess what? The water's gonna be splashing.
Exactly.
You're gonna be like,
they were just like, oh, is she okay? And then just like, oh, let's just whatever.
Because like you can tell, a difference. I feel like personally, guys, if someone's struggling and frantically kicking in the water versus someone doing laps, you know.
Yeah, you could tell that she was like, because she was like not normal. Like she was like not normally, because like normally if you're like, I don't know, doing kicks like in one spot, like you look in control.
Yeah.
You could tell that she was like not in control. She was by the stairs. Like she was like right there, like where the stairs are.
Yeah.
And people are just walking by like fucking.
I am shocked.
I know. So people are talking about this. This is like, I think it's like part of it is like the bystander effect. Like, have you heard of this? Where basically it's like, there was like a story that is like very famous, but I don't think it's actually like accurate, but it's like a representation of the bystander effect. Basically there was like this woman back in like, I don't know, a long time ago, and she actually got murdered, like outside in public where people could hear everything. So like neighbors could hear. And again, I don't know if this story is actually true, but it's a representation of the bystander effect. Basically it's like, people could hear her screaming, blah, 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 all these things happening, yet nobody called police. Nobody did anything.
Is it because they all think somebody else is going to do it?
That's part of it.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are, and then, but the problem is it's like once one person steps in, like you can see in the footage, like once one guy like noticed this woman that was dead at this point, it was too late.
Yeah.
Like everyone else came. Right. So it's like, it takes one person to like start doing something.
Right.
But before that one person, humans there's like this weird phenomenon that happens where it's like, it's not my problem.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I get what you're throwing down.
Yeah, you understand, Daniel?
Mm-hmm.
So that happened. So yeah, now everyone's like talking about it.
That's so sad because like I just feel like this definitely could have been avoided. Like if somebody just
it's so sad.
Like, oh God,
it's so sad. So yeah, she was fighting to keep her head above water. So I think it's hard to like she probably couldn't have screamed because it's like hard like when you're like can't really breathing. And I'm like, was there lifeguards? Like what the fuck is happening?
But this is it. Where are the lifeguards?
Yeah.
But some places, like depending on the situation, because I know some pools will say this or some pools. Some like hotels and stuff. They'll be like, use the pool at your own. Exactly. No lifeguard on duty. Use the pool at your own risk.
Oh yeah, there was an attorney for that health center or whatever claimed that there was no lifeguard present at the time of her death, and it argued it should not have been up to the customer. So I guess maybe they're like, I don't know, maybe they're suing I don't know. It should not have been up to the customers to notice the crisis. Well, like I get that, but like, how do you not notice?
Exactly.
Like that's what kills me. I'm like, how do you not notice? Like, I'm shocked.
And someone put, this was his direct quote. It's not their job to be looking, he said. Unfortunately, you might as well be alone. Oh God. So I need to remember that because I swim laps at my local pool.
God damn. Seriously though.
And that'd be scary as hell. So I might as well be by myself.
Seriously.
God damn, that'd be scary.
And then some people were commenting, like this was on, TikTok and stuff. And some people were commenting, it's like, oh, like, because there was like, I don't know, it was like mostly men around, I think. And they were like, oh, this shows, I mean, this might be a little bit of I don't know how true this is, guys. Let me know what you guys think of this. They're like, this is how men treat women that they don't think is attractive. Like if it was an attractive woman, and I do think that part is true.
Yeah.
Like if it's an because I've seen like social experiments where it's like, I don't know, some kind of not as conventionally attractive woman is like trying to carry like a big piece of luggage or something, and like nobody's helping her. And then if it's like an attractive woman, it's like every man is like stepping in to help.
That's so sad. I actually saw, I can't remember, but it was like they did another social experiment where they took a man and a woman.
Sure.
And then they were the same people, but like they would make them look like one way they made them look like really unattractive.
Okay.
And they were both like models, like super hot.
Sure.
But they would like make them look like unattractive. And then I think they went for like job interviews or something.
Sure.
And it was like they went for a few job interviews. And every single time when they went back as their model self and had an interview, then they pretty much always got a job offer.
Right.
And then the rest of the time when they were like not, they were like,
it's a big thing.
Yeah. That's so sad. Our society's so fucked, guys.
I know. It's a really big thing. So yeah. So a lot of people were commenting on that. They're like, men don't care. I mean, again, it might just be people. Like,
I think a big piece of it is the bystander effect though. Like,
I think that's a big piece of it.
In terms of like, oh,
but if it was an attractive woman.
Yeah.
Would that even have happened? Like, would the bystander effect be in play? I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to find out.
It's weird. Yeah, it's such a strange.
It's so sad, though.
Strange thing. And it's so sad.
God, like, imagine her family seeing that footage. Oh, seriously. So I would want to know the names of all the people that were fucking swimming there.
She carried out. Oh yeah. So it says here, triplet had a son and 5 grandchildren. Oh. And her family wrote that she will always be. She always remembered birthdays and was the first one to send a birthday card.
Oh, so sad.
That is really sad.
Oh, anyway, guys. Yeah. Be careful when you're swimming. Go with someone you know.
But what am I supposed to do, Rose? I swim laps by myself.
Well, you know what? You're not on crutches, so you should probably be okay.
That's true. That's very true.
As long as you can stand in the water, you should be okay.
I need to
Well, you never know what might happen. Like, what if your leg cramps like one day, and then like, I don't know, like it's scary.
It is scary. Water is scary, guys. Because you know what? At the end of the day, they were saying like it only takes like not even like that much water to drown somebody, right? Like, only part that has to be covered is this.
Yeah, it's true.
So like. After that, you fucked.
God, it's so scary.
I know.
Well, that's the whole thing about like even like the hot tubs and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, like you might faint in a hot tub and then.
Or unfortunately, what happened to Matthew Perry?
Oh, it's so sad.
This is the thing. I think hot tubs, especially if you're consuming substances or on pain medication or whatever it might be.
You don't want to be by yourself.
You have to be with somebody else in the hot tub. Like no matter what. Like they also say like you shouldn't like get super intoxicated and run yourself a bath and go to have a bath. Like don't do those things, guys. Like just don't put yourself in that situation unless you have a partner there that's in the bathroom with you or like in the hot tub with you. Like you need to be in a group situation. So I see that. Like I think, not saying that this woman was under substances at all, but I'm just saying like
in other situations,
right?
Water be scary.
I know. And it's hard though. Like if I was in crutches and I want to go swimming, but maybe no one else wants to go swimming with me and I don't have a partner or anybody, I'm still going to fucking go swimming. I'm not going to let those crutches impact my life. And she was probably the same. She's probably like, I want to go swimming. So fuck it.
Oh God, it's so sad.
It is really sad. Oh my God. I just can't imagine being at the pool in that situation.
And you know there's people around.
I know.
God, can you imagine?
That's the worst part. It would have been like, it's all bad, but if she would by herself in the pool, but the fact that there's all those people there, I'm like,
there's people around and you're probably like, oh my God, fuck, help me.
The worst is that people like walked by.
There was a guy that literally walked right by. I'm like, there's no fucking way you did not know she was actively drowning. Like,
yes.
How do you not notice?
Well, you would see, honestly, this is where I draw the line. Cause I'm like, someone actively drowning, they're making a big commotion in the water. She was at the fucking steps and you just walk right past her. Like,
do you not note? Like, did you really not notice? Like, that's so weird.
I know what the bystander effect is like. I know I'm guilty of it sometimes in terms of like, if something's happening out in downtown Calgary, someone's like, I don't know, ODing or something. I don't know what's going on. Sometimes I'm like, oh, maybe someone else will, like, there's a lot of people around. Someone else is going to call 911.
Yeah. It's a thing. It's a big thing.
But I feel like in this situation, going into a pool, and if someone's at the fucking stairs, like fucking flailing about and struggling, like, you're going to check in on them and be like, hey, are you okay? Just be
like, are you okay?
Yeah.
Like, are you okay?
Yeah.
And just be like, oh my God, you're not okay. Like, oh my God, I would hope that I would not walk by someone.
I know.
That's actively drowning.
That's flailing about. In the water.
It's actually bad.
I just can't imagine, like, also too, like, just how traumatic that would have been for her.
Exactly.
Yeah.
For 20 minutes.
Oh God, Rose, it's so bad.
Oh God, it's actually horrible. So guys, if you see someone struggling, be careful of the bystander effect. Don't always assume someone else is going to help them.
Because they don't always. This is true.
Or at least just like, be like, hey, you think she's okay? Like just fucking hell.
Yeah.
Oh. Anyways.
Crazy as all hell.
Damn. Okay, so last story, very quick one. Okay. I don't really know what's happening.
Okay.
Basically, this dude named Boogie2988. This guy was like an OG YouTuber.
Okay.
He was like famous, like literally in the beginning of YouTube, I think. And basically, Destiny, who's like another like a streamer, he confronted this guy, Boogie2988, for allegedly faking his cancer. And then this Boogie dude deactivated his social media.
Damn.
Interesting.
So which one? Let's look at the picture here. I want to see who's who.
So this one's Destiny. This one's Boogie.
Okay.
So Destiny accused Boogie of faking his cancer diagnosis on July 10th, claiming that the 49-year-old was obviously or absolutely lying about his health. I don't know how he knows. I'm sure there's some reasoning. Earlier today, Destiny collaborated with Felix something and confronted Boogie2988 during a live podcast.
Oh, god damn.
According to the Nebraska native, the YouTuber's testosterone use would not cause the development of polycythemia.
Yeah. So basically he's saying like, he said because he's taking testosterone.
Right.
Yeah. It developed.
Sure. Interesting.
But it could be other things like, not necessarily one thing causes another. It could be a combination of factors, right?
I'm sure there's like a reason he accused. I mean, let's see here. When Boogie was talking about the polycythemia, he mentioned a couple things that I thought were interesting. So he's basically taking what he said. Yeah. So obviously there's some holes in the story. Because like it's not the first time people fake cancer. Like this is like a phenomenon. It's like a weird phenomenon. Okay. The first was that taking an exogenous hormone TRT, testosterone, that caused an increase in him developing this condition. So taking testosterone will not cause you to develop a cancer. Not for this particular cancer. It won't.
Well, is Destiny like a fucking med student or something?
I don't know. And then So he brought up the doctor's advice to conduct a sleep study on Boogie 2988, saying it will cause you to develop secondary polycythemia. The second thing that he mentioned was that his doctor ordered a sleep. That's one of the things that can cause your body to produce more red blood cells. Blah 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 blah. Anyway, Destiny speculated that the doctor ordered a sleep study to determine whether the YouTube veteran had sleep apnea.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming, again, I don't know. Okay, I'm assuming that. He said things that, it's not just like saying, oh, I have cancer. He was like describing how he got diagnosed, and that didn't make sense.
Yeah.
Which again, it has happened before. It's a very strange thing. And I think people are saying that he was like asking for donations. I think that's why.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Is he still not an OG? Like he's an OG YouTuber, but has he kind of like gone down?
Yeah. Like he's definitely not. Like I didn't even know he was still around, to be honest with you. So yeah, I mean, I think basically Boogie 2988, the day Destiny confronted him, he basically deactivated his official Twitter account or X account. So I don't know. Is that a sign that it's true?
That he's guilty? Who knows? And if there's more drama, another person commented on the situation posting, in my 15 years on YouTube, I can't think of one popular YouTuber that's lied about having cancer. This is a new low, but I'm sure there's been other ones.
There's definitely been like people that have lied about cancer, like bloggers and like just like social media personalities.
Yeah.
So it's like a thing.
Yeah.
It's like a very strange thing.
It's so weird.
Well, I think it's part of it's like part of it they want to get money.
Yeah.
Which would be fraud in that case, and I think that could be like criminal.
You could charge someone for that.
Yeah.
Well, if you think about it, it is criminal because like if I all of a sudden started a GoFundMe or something, right? And I was like, hey, guys, I've got diagnosed with cancer, XYZ. Please donate to this. And the thing is, and this is where it gets a little bit shady. The thing is, I could do that, raise a ton of money, take the money, and then I could be like, oh, great news. Went to the doctor. I'm in remission.
Yeah.
Lie and maybe I never had cancer to begin with. Yeah. And that is fraud because the people that donated, they donated on the premise that they were helping you with your cancer.
No, it is definitely fraud for sure. Let's see. So why is he accused of faking cancer? Blah, 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 blah. So when confronted and asked for proof by Destiny, Boogie went on the defensive and refused to provide evidence. So that's another reason why people think it's fake.
Because he won't provide the evidence. Yeah. But then again, too, like, I'm sorry, but like, is it people's business that I have to provide them a document that says my doctor said that I got cancer, y'all? Like, I don't know. Oh, you're right. It was collecting money. Look at this.
Yeah, see, that's the thing.
Boogie immediately went on the defense and refused to provide any evidence, even after Destiny pledged $5,000 towards Boogie's medical treatment to have his records privately and independently verified. Boogie refused.
Let's see here.
Destiny's hypothesis is that Boogie was diagnosed with secondary polycythemia, which is an absolute increase in red blood cell mass caused by enhanced stimulation of the red blood cell production and isn't cancerous.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I don't know, guys. It is a bit sketch if you're like, oh yeah, so he's been allegedly scamming his fans out of 5 to 10K in a recent crypto. Oh no, what's this? As the podcast continues,
that's a different thing.
There's a different thing.
Okay.
Boogie said he wouldn't provide his medical records on principle. However, when called out for allegedly scamming his fans of 5 to 10K in a recent crypto scam, Boogie said, "Yeah, that is different. That is different than tweeting all my medical records."
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
That you don't want your medical records out there.
But
then they were like, oh, we can get it like independently and privately verified.
Done. Yeah. And also maybe you don't share it online, but maybe you separately, like if I was on the podcast, I'd be like, guys, can we just take a break from this podcast and I can show you separately offline to verify, and then they can come back on the podcast and be like, yes, he is legitimate.
Yeah.
He showed us the documentation. We're just not going to put it on here.
Exactly.
There's a way around it, even though it's really not any of their business, but like at the end of the day,
if you're putting it out there,
if they're putting it out there and you're getting donations,
exactly,
and all that stuff, then like,
God, it's so weird.
Yeah. And
some people, like, they just fake it just for shits and giggles. Like, they probably for, like, attention and stuff.
People do all kinds of stuff. People fake kidnappings.
People are so fucking crazy.
It's insane. I actually watched a very not sad. It was a very intense documentary.
Which one? I think I watched it.
It was called
The American something?
Yeah, the American, like,
it's like about the couple?
Yes.
Yeah. And the girl gets kidnapped?
Yep.
Oh, yes.
And basically,
that's
guys,
a good one.
this is such a good one. I can't remember what it's called. It's like American Story or something, or American like
something.
The American Nightmare.
Yeah, I think it's American Nightmare.
Something like this, guys. And it just reminded me of this because there are people that like legitimately remember there was that other person that like disappeared for 3 days and then showed up back at their house and actually they weren't actually kidnapped, but they were faking a bunch of shit. So this couple happens where their house gets broken into, the girl gets taken, and then they're like about, I don't know, maybe 3 days later or something, she shows up. By the way, spoiler alert, guys, shows up at her parents' house, like disorientated and like what the fuck, right? And so they like put her through questioning. And the crazy thing is, and even throughout the documentary, right? Like it's like, I think 3 episodes or something. It's like crazy. You're all just like, oh my God.
Yeah, you don't really know what's going on.
You're like, is this true? Like, it seems really far-fetched.
Did she fake it?
Exactly. Is the boyfriend part of it? Like, what is going on? What's happening? Because the boyfriend was having an affair. All this other stuff.
Oh, yeah. There was some kind of crazy shit happening.
There was a lot of drama going on. And then turns out it was real. And they caught the guy. Yeah. And even her story, like the police were like so like dismissive. They're like, this seems fake. Like what you're talking about seems fake. Like the fact that they said that the boyfriend was like, yeah, they blindfolded me. And then they said they were watching me with cameras. And then I couldn't call the police, but then I ended up calling the police because I was freaked out. And they're like, this sounds like a bullshit story.
Yeah. So they got like dragged in the media.
Oh yeah,
and, like,
hugely.
So we should be careful about like, we don't actually know.
Yeah. Well, and actually, the scary thing with this whole story is they got dragged through the media. All this shit was going on. No one believed them. They were like living in an American nightmare. Yeah. And then there was actually in a different jurisdiction, there was a different case that happened. And there was a police officer there that was like, hang on a second. This sounds very similar to a case that happened in this other county. Connected the dots and was the reason why this all came to fruition.
Was it the woman?
Yeah, it was a woman police officer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was like, there's something going on, and then she basically saved them. Essentially, I don't know. Like, I don't know what happened.
And it's crazy. And I think they then went on to sue the Justice Department.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, which is completely fair.
Yeah.
Anyway,
on that positive note, that brings us to the end of this episode, you guys. Thank you so much for listening. We're going to record the Patreon exclusive now, so make sure you join us on Patreon. Patreon.com/The SaVeg Podcast. You get every episode a week earlier than everybody else. You get ad-free content and a bonus episode every single month and a little shout out in the beginning of the show. So make sure you check it out.
And guys, if you're watching us on YouTube, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Give this video a thumbs up. Show us some love in the comment section down below. And if you're listening to us on your favorite podcast platform, just hit follow. Then you get updated as soon as new episodes go live. And don't forget to give us a 5-star rating.
Yeah, thank you so much, you guys. And we'll talk to you guys next week. Bye.